Hey, this is Tyrese Anderson. What I want to talk about today is why was COVID-19, the protocols that they've taken for it to prevent COVID-19 from spreading and so they can have this issue resolved. Why was the measures taken against COVID-19 such a huge failure? Now, as we all know, COVID-19 is a disease that's going around the world that is killing a lot of people. It's a highly infectious disease that even for the people who survive infections suffer severe respiratory, which of course, in other words, means lungs, issues because of results. So, in short, it's definitely a disease that's not a joke and it's going around everywhere, as I'm certain we're all aware of. And I'm also certain we're all aware of there has been, I should say, measures that was taken against COVID-19 to kind of prevent it from spreading, such as quarantine, social distancing and all that stuff. And for this video, I'm going to discuss the two main reasons why, as a part of a series, why this disease was so rampant and the protocols that were taken against it failed so terribly, because it did do terribly. And it's surprising for a nation as developed as the nations that actually got affected the worst by the disease, how poorly they dealt with it. Okay, so let's get into the first reason why this situation was such a disaster. And it was clearly an embarrassment. The first reason why is simply due to the fact that they set unrealistic expectations for people. Like things like social distancing, particularly social distancing, I think was the biggest one. Instead of just simply asking people to wear a mask, uh, is one of the biggest reasons why this thing was such a failure. They set unrealistic expectations. We live in a world where a lot of people are not even well educated in the first place. How can people notice, oh, I'm supposed to be 6 feet apart from someone all the time? And just in general, sometimes it's inconvenient to always say, I'm going to be 6 feet apart from this other person every single where I go. I'm going to be 6 feet apart. Okay, like I'm going to have a conversation with somebody. Oh, okay, I'm going to be 6 feet apart from you. Okay, I see someone crossing the street and I'm walking on the same side as him. Oh, I'm going to be 6 feet away from that person. Like it just set an unrealistic expectation that, to sum it up, particularly in the Western world where we have a lot of very spoiled, entitled people in the first place, it was kind of asking for a little bit too much. Okay, and that's one of the biggest reasons why this situation or these measures were such a failure. It was simply due to that social distancing and a few other things that were just highly unrealistic and just didn't was a sign that people didn't know what they were really doing. Okay, so that's the first point. The second point is simply due to the fact that when it came to organization, it wasn't very well organized. Now, these are people in the government who most of us in general society actually look up to and think highly of, and they didn't do a very good job, surprisingly. Besides, here in Canada, they kept on opening and shutting things down, opening and shutting things down, opening and shutting things down, opening and shutting things down over and over again. They didn't really have a vision, and a lot of that happened because I think they try to keep everybody happy, which, if you're in politics, you should know one of the biggest rules. One of the most important rules you need to realize is that you cannot keep everybody happy all the time and at any time for that matter. Um, but they try to make sure everybody was happy, and they, like, of course, let's make sure, the businesses are making money, but at the same time, let's make sure that the people who are more concerned about health are happy too. So they try to please everybody, and look at what happened. They couldn't make up their mind for anything. And As a result of that, it simply didn't work. Not to mention, when it comes to COVID 19, it also comes simply down to the fact that they didn't test enough people. They were not prepared to test enough people. They didn't have a good test strategy, because testing would have been one of the best things to do, because a lot of people didn't like the vaccine. So they could have easily tested people, which I'm certain if they planned it out well and organized it very well, these things would have happened. But they didn't test enough people. And because they didn't test enough people, and the methods they use, like putting a swab up your nose, like deep into your nose and stuff, and just some of the stuff, instead of maybe, like, for example, just testing like your saliva, or maybe something along the lines of that, like ways that are more convenient, just made the situation even worse and made it more likely it was to spread, if anything. So they, so as a result, this COVID 19 situation has been completely left unresolved. And it's simply due to other reasons, which I'll get into the part two of this video. As truth be told, it was simply not really well thought out. And I think if there's a lesson to learn from this situation, it is that if if you do anything in life, even for, let's just say, politics or anything, you need to have a plan. You need to have a vision of what you want to do. Like, you're not just going to do things like day by day and just think, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You need to have a vision. If you don't have a vision for anything in life, then things are just going to come as day by day goes by. So as a result of that, that's the reason why things are as bad as they are now. And hopefully things can get better sometime in the future. But as I was saying, hopefully this is a lesson to people to make sure that in life, if you have to do anything, you have a vision. If you don't have a vision, then things are going to get nowhere. It's like if you want to maybe get a dream job, maybe as a lawyer or real estate agent, if you don't have an idea like where this is going to go, like what you are going to do, then you're just going to just feel like you're going nowhere, in all honesty. So make sure you have a vision. So this is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video and videos like this, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And that is all I have to say. So later.